Okay, so continuing on, I opened up a new to create a new workspace again by going File, New, and then going over here and working on my presets. I was talking about reorganizing my workspace. It's called the artboards. So we can click advanced settings at the bottom there, or more settings, pardon, and we could give this a name here. Should overwrite the last one, and number of artboards is correct, but what we're going to do is we are going to come down to columns here and change it to 2, so it'll be 2 by 3. Alright, so one of the ways that I wrap my head around this project is I like to think about these cultural forms that we as humans have used, and in the 20th century there were a lot of them that act as like these markers or these symbolic little souvenirs or tokens, that sort of thing. And you're probably familiar with that idea. You can think of things like the Olympic gold coins, or the Nobel Prize comes as this big sort of medal that you wear. But I'm a real fan of these little enamel pins or these little enamel coins that were made, and it's sort of like a play on currency, like coinage. And so I'm actually a huge fan of the early space pioneers, and some of my favorite collectibles in my collection are things like these Soviet pins that were made with the first humans who went to space. Yuri Gagarin, the one here in the bottom right, is a really cool pin. I have one from that era in 1961. I like to collect them when I come across them, both from NASA or from the Soviet Union. Well, I'm a space fanatic, right? I like science fiction. Enough said. So, I wanted to start thinking about this project in that same sort of bend, and maybe this might be a way for you to wrap your head around the project or give you sort of a jump forward. Is there some sort of collectible, like a Disney pin or some sort of marker from a tabletop game or something that you collect or you know of and you think is really cool? Are there coins from different countries that you have a collection, or maybe a relative has a collection of? And so these are kind of a good way to think about this, because we're making this emblem, right? In this small space, we're going to pass some very important information, right? We're going to pass information like the sense of motion from these vectors that are flying. They started up here and they zoomed around and flew over here, right? We can tell it's a motion blur because it's longer at that back end. And there's a picture of Yuri and his big old helmet, and then the laurel leaves, and then the words commemorating it. And of course, that's all wrapped in the Soviet flag because of the patriotism that they had for this program. So those are the types of things you're looking at when you look at a coin or a symbol or a medal. It's marking a moment, and there's little signifiers hidden there. We'll come back to the next video, continue on.